Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Irad, and so we are going to react to the latest episode of Inside Star Citizen about tractor beams, which just appeared on the roadmap for Star Citizen 3.19, and so looks like we're going to have images, perhaps more details about what they're going to bring to the game. So let's get to it right now.
Tractor beams have been a staple of science fiction for almost 100 years. They go all the way back to the work of Amazing Stories magazine and E.E. Smith's classic Space Hounds of IPC, the serials of 1931. They're a metaphor for all of science fiction in that they look to extend our reach beyond what's physical and bring that which we can only imagine closer and within our grasp.
Indeed. Well, okay, Jared, you nailed that. Congrats. Did you write this, Jared? That's pretty cool.
And while tractor beam gameplay already has a presence in the persistent universe, work is currently...
It does. It's just, the hand tractor beams from the Multitool. Very basic so far, but ships eventually are going to have one as well.
Underway, bringing its full potential into the hands and spacecraft of the Stanton system.
There we go,
with the next step forward happening in the upcoming Alpha 319.
Please show us tractor beams on spacecraft. Please, 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 please. So, looks like we're looking at Microtech here. Tractor Factor. This is looking great. Did you see the grass? Oh, by the way, look at that grass on Microtech. How gorgeous does that look? Are we gonna have new grass tech? I don't think it looks like this right now. I know that we're gonna have new foliage eventually and new forests. That is definitely an improvement.
The current state of the tractor beam is already in a really fun and fitting state. Especially when the tractor beam was released, people got really creative with stacking boxes, creating obstacles for each other, or
what is that?
Coming up with very interesting ideas of systemic multiplayer action, like who can destroy the ship and steal as many boxes, like team versus team situation, or you could even use...
Yeah, okay, that's emergent gameplay, people having fun. That's great. I wish that we could have gameplay designed by the developers like this for regular players who don't necessarily have the time to organize a group and eventually join together in the same servers. Some people just have one or an hour and a half to play, and you just don't have enough time to organize such an event. So it seems like the people who do that is just a fraction of the player base, but most normal players don't. But it would be great. It's great that they are taking inspiration. If we could have something similar, made by the developers for everyone, that would be even better.
The grabbed objects as harm, so snap them on someone else's person head, and then make them the minimum unconscious. So tractor beams in live game currently are able to move cargo crates onto your cargo grid. So it's fitting the concept of you having a handgun that can do the box.
Basically, that's what it is, yes.
There's still the grapple mechanic that you can use. So you can pull yourself towards ships or towards bigger objects, heavier objects.
It's actually great if you want to do some boarding, for example, like what we were looking at.
The limitations are that it is very it cannot interact with any items yet. It's just there for boxes.
Yeah, and it's only for small items too. You're not going to be using the tractor beam for a ship, for example, or a wreck or a piece of wreck.
Unconscious bodies or dead bodies.
Do you intend for it to be for unconscious bodies?
I think it's intended to be for unconscious bodies, yes.
Oh my, that is a lot. What a mess. So, the exciting future. All right, I'm excited already.
So where do we want to...
Wait a second, what are we looking at here? Is that the whole sea that we're looking at here? Oh yeah, that's the whole sea.
So where do we want to take tractor beams? We would like to introduce more variances to the FBS tractor beam that you're seeing. So right now you only have the multi-tool that has the tractor beam attachment. So we would like to have a dedicated tool, maybe even upgraded version.
Oh, okay, so that is a much bigger tractor beam here. I look like the medical gameplay, the medical gun. The medical gun is dedicated for medical. You can use a medical attachment to the multi-tool. So you can, maybe we'll have like an actual tractor rifle. Not really a tractor, but a tractor rifle dedicated for tracting. That's going to be a little bit better than the attachment on the multi-tool?
To the tractor beam attachment. So you might have heavier lifting tractor beam attachment for the multi-tool. So we would really like to dive into more meaningful itemization for the tractor.
Perhaps, so apparently this is going to be heavier, so perhaps we'll be able to use that heavy tractor beam for the larger boxes, like the 32 SU containers.
Beam, and basically have it believable that you have a big tractor beam to move like very heavy and very big objects, rather than you just have your tiny
That's it, that's what I was talking about. Now, the next thing that I hope that we will hear about also is power management with the tractor beams, because right now when you're using the multi-tool, you can use it as much as you want, power is not depleting. Eventually, that's going to change, and we're going to have to get, to recharge or multi-tools with extra batteries that we'll have to buy. It's not going to have infinite power like it does have right now. And I suppose that the heavier the object you will be carrying with the tractor beam will be, the more power you'll be consuming. So you're going to have to also take that in consideration.
Like 36 square cubic meter boxes around or something like that. There's also the tractor beam in regards to the salvage gameplay. So you have on the salvage ships, like the Reclaimer and the Vulture, you have the functionality to pull in debris. And then in the future, once the salvage feature is progressing, you will be able to munch those pieces and create like additional resources out of that. For vehicle tractor beams, there are basically two things that we would like to see. And
that's what I wanted to hear.
The concept of remote turrets.
Okay.
So something that it's
something you'll be able to use from the pilot ship, the co-pilot
help
seat.
The systems that the ship itself has. For example, on the Starfarer.
Oh, look. We're actually seeing the tractor beam on the Starfarer now. Oh, it's visual conceptualization. It's not actual gameplay.
A tractor beam that is able to bring in the mining pods from the prospector, or detach the fuel pods from the fuel pod socket, so you could exchange them, or for example, for the hull variances, that you have a remote tractor beam that is able to detach the cargo boxes from basically.
Look at those huge cargo grids here. That is so. Look at the scale of that hull sea. And each of those panels is a cargo grid where you can put one or maybe multiple cargo boxes like that. That is insane.
Cargo holding plates on the hull series.
We knew that the hull sea would be big, but while seeing it in game like that,
there's
it's a whole other thing.
Additionally, the concept of the not remote tractor beam, but the fully like ship-driven tractor beam.
Yes, for example, that's maybe what we're gonna see with the SRV, right? Look at that. That's a Valkyrie that's being tracked here by another ship. I don't know what that is. Could it be the SRV?
So to say, which is more the active one. So best example there is the SRV, for example, that has its full purpose to be
yes, it is the SRV.
To tow ships. So you basically have a stranded ship that you attach to and then move around. But what we also want to have there is some ships might have an indirect remote turret or indirect remote version of a tractor beam, which is more the, let's say, aggressive version. So it's more in combat scenario. You have a situation that someone tries to flee, and you just use the tractor beam to hold that person in place, so that the person cannot escape, and you can actually pull it in to grab your bounty. An additional feature that...
No way! Oh no, it's basically the whole alien abduction thing that we're going to have in Star Citizen, and we'll be able to pull people like that. That's so funny. I love this.
That we also see in the future is combining the beams. So you are able to, like, not only one player, once it attaches to a box, that only that player is able to move the box, but like have maybe people targeting the same box and fighting over the box, or even like the body. And then being able to move that around.
How are we going to do that? If
maybe even the FPS devices are so big that it is like you at least could be able to grab a small Aurora or Nox or something, something small. So it's like it makes sense that you are able to grab that.
So if someone's trying to escape, you can try to grab their ship with a tractor, but that could be so much fun.
Tiny vehicle or tiny ship.
All right, yeah. What is in 319? Since it's in the
With
roadmap
the future
now.
being somewhere out there, let's actually talk about what we have in plan for 319.
Yes.
We are actually working on the entire tractor beam thing in regards to the SRV. But one thing that we noticed while working on it is that we actually have one thing that we could split out and actually bring to you a bit earlier than anticipated.
Oh, so the SRV is not coming in 319. Basically, sorry guys, you wanted the SRV, it's not going to be ready in 319.
And
no, we're going to have to wait for season call, I guess.
This feature is basically item stripping.
Okay.
So you detach items from certain ports or...
Yes. I made a video about that on the main channel yesterday. And that is how I believe criminals are going to make a ton of money stripping ships out of their items and then eventually selling them.
Or more use in like riddles that are done by the level design teams.
Once the vehicle is soft dev or unlocked, you're going to be able to, with a tractor beam, find all the good guns and modules like shield generators or life supports.
Okay, so soft dev, that's what I said. So you cannot do that if the ship is functional. That's not possible. But if it is unlocked, or so that means that you can infiltrate a ship and eventually get it unlocked. Or if you destroy a ship and put it in soft dev mode, not hard dev, but soft dev, you'll be able to take all of those items.
So whatever, detach them, put them on your ship, or put them in your cargo hold
and
sell them later.
Yes! Yes! Sell them later for a ton of cash. Sell those big size 5 guns. Those huge guns on the Reclaimer. Yeah, those huge guns on the Caterpillar. On the Constellation.
Use them.
So you will use your multi-tool, the very buffed version of the multi-tool, to be detaching those weapons where there is a new weight limit that the multi-tool can now exceed. There's a new volume that the multi-tool can now exceed to allow you to detach at least...
That is exactly what I was imagining yesterday. You go inside the ship, you steal the components, you put them in your ship, you're gonna go back, sell them.
Like a majority of the items. There might be items hidden behind walls.
Or you put them in the trunk
for
of
sure
your
you will not be able to detach from their socket, but all the items that are visible, and especially the internal components that are size 0, size 1, and size 2, you will be able to detach from their socket. And
all right. So that's why we have this tractor beam rifle. The regular tractor beam with the multi-tool, only size 0, size 1, size 2. And that means no Caterpillar so far. But when we're going to have that big rifle, we're going to be able to take the bigger ones.
If you have a spare, for example, sitting around next to you, you can even exchange them. If you have a shield generator and you notice for the situation that I'm right now in, it's not good enough, so you can take your multi-tool, grab it, pull it out of the socket, and grab the other one that you have, which might be suiting for the situation better, and then just pop it in, and voila, you just changed your shield generator on the fly.
Cool. Sometimes it happens, right? Sometimes you have a component that's damaged. You're in a combat situation, the component is damaged. Overheating can do that too. Well, maybe you can steal it, you soft-death it from another ship and take it for yourself.
Weapons, since they're on the outside, we allow you to detach any weapon that matches the metrics. So I think right now the biggest that you can pop out of the socket are size 5 or size 6.
Yes,
depends a bit on the shape,
the
because
money
we have
that's going to
different
be
masses and different volumes for the different shapes of the different types that we have. So it's a bit dependent there, but what is important...
Oh man, I'm gonna take a whole no, not whole I'm gonna take a C2 Hercules and go around the verse with a bunch of friends, and we're gonna pop everything that we see and steal all their weapons and sell all of them.
on the tractor beam are synergies. And what synergies we have is, or we will have with this feature, a way to restock yourself. Like not restocking with physical ammunition, like you have from your ballistic cannons, but at least from missiles.
Nice.
You can potentially find a ship.
Yes, that's really good because, you know, very often you're in a combat situation, you use your missiles, you're out of missiles, you have to go back to a base. It's very annoying. You soft-death a ship, they still have missiles, you take them for yourself and use them, and then you don't need to go back to the station, and that is awesome.
That's soft-dev or like fully destroyed, that has the same time of missile. and you can grab those missiles, attach to your own ship, and use them in the future fight.
In a multi-crew scenario, you can have a friend sitting around with their Cutlass Black full of missiles, and you just take it out of their backside and refill your ship.
With Pyro, obviously, it would be much more interesting because there's like a more limited shop supplies and all of that. But even right now, it's like a pretty valuable option because a lot of those components are actually pretty expensive.
What we also will allow you to do is like strip the items off alive ships, but to prevent other players from randomly stealing you the items, we will lock that behind a certain functionality. So right now the discussion is that we will have an unlock key binding that you press, and then you basically allow the items to be detached from their socket.
Yes,
so
okay. But you need to be the owner of the ship, right? If you're a pirate, I don't think it's going to be possible to do that yourself unless you hack the ship. But I don't think we're
press the button, and then anyone in your ship or anyone around the ship can then detach the items, either use them on a different ship, on the same ship again, or sell them for profit.
Yes.
During the Go No Go, there was like a comment that it is a potential exploit if the parts are too expensive. The exploit is that you can spawn your own ship, claim it.
Now that's something that I saw in the comment section below, in the comment section down below in yesterday's video, right? So what if you spawn your own ship, you take all the parts, and then you clone it, and then you claim it again? How does Cloud Imperial Game plan to counter this exploit?
And then sell the parts of it, and then reclaim it, and then cannot do this loop. It would be counted as a crime right now, I think, but it's like, up to debate. So that's something that's being discussed right now.
So selling your own components from your own ship is going to be considered a crime and insurance fraud. Yes, please, CIG, do that. Of course it should be, right? It's
also the synergy with, which ties in very nicely with the mining update that we have been talking about already last time, which is like you can exchange the mining head on the fly. Not only the mining head you will be able to detach and attach, but also the sub-items attached to the mining head.
Nice.
So if you have, for example, a brand module that just depleted and you have a spare one with you, just grab your tractor beam, pull it out of the cargo hold and attach it again to the mining head. So you restocked your brand module, for example.
Nice. And again, if you do that, you don't need to go back to the station. Wonderful.
For the mining, but also for refueling. So if you have a Starfarer that has fuel pods and they are empty, and you just stumbled over an NPC or another player that has a fully filled Starfarer, you either negotiate to buy one of their fuel pods to get it over and attach it to your ship, or you find another way to actually get the fuel pod with the fuel inside and attach it to your Starfarer, and voila. You have a Starfarer that is now able to refuel other players without you paying any money for the fuel that you maybe.
So you can even be a pirate or a criminal in the Starfarer. That's very funny.
You paid a bit of money for it to be attached to your ship.
It's basically fun for everyone, even Starfarer owners.
So if you have a gun and you move your mouse left, right, the gun will rotate this way always. Before, rotating was very tricky.
Yes.
Now it's a bit more intuitive, at least from my perspective.
Because we also did salvage with the same concept as we did mining with the sub-items and so on. Yes, you will also be able to detach the sub-items on the salvage head or the salvage head.
Of course, but I like the idea that they are tweaking also the rotation of the tractor beam, which can be very random and hard to understand. So if there's a new mechanic that can actually allow you to rotate the item the way you want them to rotate, then that's also a big plus.
Itself. And exchange the modules as you like and as needed.
All right, so what's coming next?
This is the next step we will take with the tractor beam for 3.19. And there are more to come. What I'm personally looking forward to the most is how it actually ties in with all the other systems. And I think that is also the most joy that I already get with this release for 3.19, which is how it already well interacts with the refueling that we did, with the mining update, because there we talked about how important it is now that the items are fitting the rocks, and now it is even in our QATR or in our internal play sessions, we now have a fully stacked Cutlass Black with all the mining heads there, and we just swap them out regularly, and it's really fun. It feels like
that's
this
awesome.
is
That's
how
awesome.
it's
You know,
supposed to
especially
be,
for
and it's
orgs,
not
right? Org
anymore like
gameplay,
this weird,
people playing together in orgs, and they have their own logistics. It's very important, you know, when you play Star Citizen, you have to be prepared. You have to own your own logistics, your own supplies, and if you have a ship entirely dedicated to that, that's also great. But you're gonna have to also protect that ship, because that ship is gonna be a target, right? People might be out there looking for a quick profit. They see all those missiles. Maybe they'll want to take them for themselves and sell them instead of using them as supplies. That's also something that you have to watch out for.
Menu gameplay, it's like real. It's physical. You have your tractor beam in your hand. You have the item lying in front of you. You pull out the item from the socket and you attach the new one. So I'm really looking forward to what you will come up with. So right now we are not trying to limit it too much. We might reconsider that once we see you like bringing havoc to our game, but for now, yeah, once 3.19 is out there, be creative, destroy the world, whatever.
Yes, we will, and we'll make money out of that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. That is it for this video. Thank you to all the people who have also been helping out on Patreon and YouTube, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.